24-year-old Kyle Chevalier is biking across Canada to raise awareness for breast cancer. He's hoping to raise $75,000 to support the cause and will be biking from Nova Scotia right across to BC. Let's find out more about Kyle's story. Okay, Kyle, so why are you biking across Canada? What made you want to bike across Canada?
Okay, so initially, I played on the McMaster men's basketball team this year, and we had a Think Pink awareness game. So every team, we all wore pink jerseys, pink warm-ups, pink laces. And so on the back of the warm-up, we had "In Support Of," and we wrote the people that had been affected in our inner circle by breast cancer. So I wrote Coach Teresa Burns, who's the women's basketball coach, and Joanne Baresi, who is a close friend of mine's mother, really close friends of the family. I look at her as a second mother, someone who's really been an inspiration in my life. And my mom took a picture of the jersey before the game, and the next night my dad was walking the dog and ran into Joanne Baresi and showed her the picture. And when she saw it, she was emotional. She was touched by the gesture. And in the next couple of days, I thought, well, that was so simple, something that was so easy for me to do and made such a big impact on somebody's life that has gone through a traumatic experience. So I wanted to do something more. One night, lying in bed, this thought came to me that I could pull people together and make a positive change by riding my bike across Canada and raising money and awareness for breast cancer. So I woke up the next day, I told my dad, and he really supported the idea. I started talking to friends, started talking to family, and they all supported the idea, so I decided to move forward with it.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And when you say that you decided to move forward with it, what specifically do you mean? Like, what steps did you take? What was the first step you took to move forward?
So when I decided that I needed to talk to somebody that has done something like this before, because when I started, I had no idea where to go. I played on the McMaster football team a couple years back, and I played running back with Jordan Kazina, and he did the Trek for MS across Canada. So I gave him a call. He's up north studying for Teachers College, and we talked for an hour and a half on the phone one night. And Jordan's a great guy. He pointed me in the right direction, and he gave me the guidance that I needed to turn this whole event and this campaign into a success.
And to make it real, right? To make it a real thing instead of just an idea. Now he gave you a plan, and you had an idea of what you could really do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Without that, I mean, it was like I was trying to get to the moon. I had no idea what to do, and with that guidance, I started to figure out who I needed to talk to, and what direction to go.
So it's moving forward now. You're getting close to the time when you're actually leaving. But how long have these events that you've been planning to raise money for been going on? Like, when did the events start? Do you want to maybe talk about some of the events that have happened so far and ones that are coming up?
Yeah. So some big things that happened were being put in touch with a public relations company, Imagine PR, and they're actually based here out of Ancaster. So they helped me in terms of reaching out to newspapers and TV stations and spreading the word. So they were great in that respect. As a McMaster student, I reached out to the NBA Marketing Association. Yes, and so I had a meeting with them. They were receptive to the idea. They were looking actually for a charitable event to get on board with. So it worked out perfect timing. One of the guys on the team is Matt Willis, who was a former basketball player at the school. And my relationship with him dated back to high school. So he was on board right away, and we started to put together a poker night, a charity poker night. Mm-hmm. So we actually had a great turnout. We had over 50 people come out to play poker at the Ron Joyce Center in Burlington. We had raffle prizes. We had 50-50 draws. We had everything going on there. So we ended up raising $1,900.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in one night. So that was awesome. So moving forward with that, I wanted to keep the momentum going. So this Sunday we actually have a spin-a-thon at McMaster. We have 3 hours, and the event is segmented into 1 hour sessions. So we have about 20 people per hour. The spots have filled up tremendously. The minimum donation is $10 a head. So Assuming we have about 60 people out at $10 a head, we should raise at least $600 for breast cancer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that is where is it happening? And it's stationary biking. That's what it is.
Yeah. So we're gonna be spinning on bikes right in the Pulse at McMaster, the school gym.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And then some more events we have scheduled. In terms of training for this whole thing, I reached out to De La Soul Yoga.
Oh.
I've been part of that community for 5 years now, doing yoga.
Love hot yoga.
And Katie McKellen, the owner there, she decided to sponsor me.
Amazing.
So she helped take care of all my yoga classes. So I've been going there for the last couple of months, and the instructors, when they found out about it, they embraced it, and they wanted to do community classes. So they decided, okay, well, let's do the same kind of idea as a spin-a-thon. We'll get people out to the event. Minimum donation $10 for a class. So if you get 30 people in a class, everybody donates $10. You raise $300 for breast cancer, and that gets me one step closer to my goal of raising $75,000. I've always trained my entire life, ate healthy and stuff. This was something that I could go out and do, and it is a big feat, and it's from coast to coast, ocean to ocean. You get a whole nation involved, and if we're able to just engage communities along the way, then it really makes it a national event.
Yeah. So once you leave and you leave on the.
I'll leave on May 14th from Toronto. I'll fly out to Cape Spear, Newfoundland. And when I get there, the whole idea is to get people from communities, women out, and just even if it's just to try biking, even if it's riding me to the city limits. And they come out, they get some exercise. Yeah, right? Exactly. Okay. I want it to be like a community event. So if they come out and bike with me for 5 kilometers, and then every week they get out and exercise and bike and stuff, that helps reduce their risk for breast cancer.
True.
So then that's where it really is about getting out and trying new things.
So hopefully then when you come through these cities, people will know when you're coming. Like, are you going to be using social media to let people know where you're at? Yeah,
so we have the Instagram, we have Twitter, Facebook, all Biking for Boobies. And it's not just the physical output that I'm putting in, it's also the working with people and having a team of people that are making this happen. So for me, I'm not going to be able to coordinate events all the time.
No.
So I'm going to actually be calling back home to Imagine PR, and they're going to be reaching out to the people in different areas once I'm getting there. Perfect. So for like radio shows. So actually the Scott Thompson show, I had my first live radio interview with him 2 weeks ago now. And so we're going to actually Scott Thompson and I have a in-studio meeting on May 13th, just before I leave. And then bi-weekly, we're going to be talking on the phone every month.
That's awesome. Yeah. His show is going to broadcast you every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks on the Monday at 2:35, I'm going to be calling in.
Okay.
And I'm going to every single Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation location all across Canada.
That's awesome. So you'll drop in and touch base with them?
Yeah, exactly. So the big one's going to be in Toronto because that's where most people are. But yeah, there's one in Halifax, Toronto, Calgary, Winnipeg, Vancouver, and Victoria. And most people say that I'm crazy because the westerly prevailing winds. So I'm going east to west.
Right.
Yeah.
Intentionally or just?
I knew that the winds were going to be tough, but I just thought
extra challenge. Eh?
I just thought of it, and I got to thinking of it. It's kind of symbolic in a sense, but the wind is Mother Nature, right? And if you think about breast cancer, that's not a force that we control. So in a way, it's like Mother Nature. So instead of changing my route, I just decided to embrace it. And maybe some women will grasp it on as a message.
It is a message out.
Yeah, and you know what? That what you said is exactly right. Like I don't want this event to just span I don't want to set boundaries just for breast cancer. I want there to be a larger message. That we can get together and do something and inspire people to make a change, a positive change, whatever it is. Spreading the word, retweets on Twitter, things like that. It gets people involved, and the more you spread out the network, the more of a chance that the message is going to be heard and that the message is going to reach the right people. Because if it's not reaching the ears that need to hear it, then it's in vain. I set a goal of 75,000. I'm gonna work so hard to accomplish that. But any financial gain towards breast cancer and raising money is a win.
Absolutely.
And raising awareness along with that is just as important as the financial thing, because that it encourages women and people of all ages and races, everybody, to just get out, be active, reduce your risk when it comes to cancer.
Look for Kyle biking across Canada this summer in your city and check him out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. He also has a website coming soon called
Bike4Boobies.com.
Bike4BoobiesPodCast. So look for that as well. I'm China Corvino reporting for MLink.